to the graphic nature of this program, listener discretion is advised.
Hey man, this is Kevin Smith, guy who makes all those unlistenable podcasts over at smodcast.com, and you're listening to the Two Strangers, One Podcast. This is podcasting.
Now, here's Chris.
Well, hello and welcome to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
And I'm Layla.
And this is an emergency session. We're recording this on Tuesday. Basically, as soon as you hear it, we're uploading it as soon as we're done recording. Just to introduce Layla to the audience, Layla and I have a daughter together, our beautiful little Raven Rose. And if you ever hear the little baby yelling in the background trying to get my attention, I'm paying attention to her, but she, heavens forbid I take 2 seconds away attention from her and look at the microphone. She's like, "Daddy, look at me! Daddy, Daddy!" So Raven is our mutual daughter. And so I've been wanting to get you on the podcast for a little while. I mean, we've recorded some stuff, but it's nothing I'm probably going to use. Let's just jump right into it. Okay, remember when I took you to go see Star Trek, the new Star Trek?
Yeah.
And you kind of, do you remember? No, because you fell asleep.
I remember the guy in the red shirt that always dies got sucked into the fire underneath the spaceship. And I remember Spock getting into a fight as a little kid or something. And it's the same guy that played Sylar on American Horror Story.
No, he played Sylar in Heroes.
Sylar's in Heroes,
and
right.
Then he was, he was also on American Horror Story.
Right, he was the...
Zachary Quinto. You think he's cute?
Yeah.
Very. Yeah? You think he's sexy?
Yeah.
You know he's gay, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's like the same thing like the guy that plays Sheldon Cooper on Big Bang Theory. He's gay.
He's very gay. He's an attractive guy, but he's too pompous for me.
Sheldon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, and I think we've had this conversation. I think Sheldon is just the actual character. He's not gay. He's not straight. He's just he's like a kid almost. Like he's stuck in his own world where he hasn't hit that maturity yet. Like that's why he likes comic books. That's why he, likes video games and stuff like that. Because he's still...
His work and his hobbies, and that's all there is. There is no love. There's no romance. There's
he never had
no
a chance
girls,
to grow up.
There's,
Because, he went through school as a kid. Mm-hmm. I want to say, what is it? He was, out of college before he hit 18 and stuff like that.
I think they said he was, 16 or something, yeah.
So, he never had a childhood. That's why he's still, so he hasn't hit, the puberty part of his life where it's time to get into girls. And so, there was, Amy Farrah Fowler, the girl that played Blossom. Do you know the...
Oh, that's the one with the glasses, right?
With the glasses, yeah.
Yeah.
I think she's cute. I don't know. Because she's not traditionally
cute.
Good looking.
Right.
But she's Mayim Bialik, that's her name.
I like her character.
Mm-hmm.
I like her character on the show.
Mm-hmm.
I think she could be really hot. But, yeah, she's cute.
So, J.J. Abrams, the guy who gave us the new Star Trek, he made it sexy. He brought in all these young actors. And, he's in the middle of filming part 2.
Okay.
It's called Star Trek Into Darkness. Mm-hmm. And actually, and we mentioned this in a past episode, there was a guy that was dying of cancer, and J.J. Abrams let him see what parts of the movie they already filmed before he died. And the guy died. The guy died a day after he saw the movie.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's J.J. Abrams is a cool guy for doing stuff like that. Other movies, Cloverfield.
That movie, everybody got so worked up about it, but I thought it was kind of stupid.
I think the one thing that J.J. Abrams is good at is building up stuff. There's always
build up to nothing.
And then it falls apart, exactly. Cloverfield. We both got super into Lost.
Oh, yeah.
Lost was such
that show is genius.
And remember, I bought the box set. We started watching episodes on Hulu. Yeah. And I was like, fuck this. I have to get this whole season. I have to get the whole box set.
No, you didn't say that. I said that.
And so, and kind of like Lost, it had a great beginning, great build-up, great mystery, and then at the end, it kind of went, which I mean, I still like it. I love Lost. It's always going to have a special place in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
But, I do have to admit the ending was a little down. And then plus, it was flight 815, and our daughter's birthday is 815.
Right.
And she looks like a little Hurley.
She does, kind of.
So J.J. Abrams, and they've made it official, because, the people who, George Lucas, the guy who started Star Wars,
right.
He got bought out by Disney. Disney gave him $4 billion. And so they sold, he's there as a consultant, but he's kind of just laid back. He's getting married now. All these years, he was never married. He got engaged to a woman, I believe she's like a big finance person out in Detroit. So now what they were doing was they were planning to release the prequels in 3D. They already did it with Part 1, Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones,
I've never seen
Revenge of the Sith. I'm pretty sure I had it on in the background sometimes. So they released episode 1 in 3D, but now with this buyout of Lucas by Disney, they're not releasing part 2 and part 3. They're going to focus on the next movie that's coming out in 2015. So these microphones are real good. So while you're snacking or eating your salsa and tortilla chips,
I apologize.
It's all right. And then we're being joined by Cinnamon Buns. We got a new kitten, so her name is Cinnamon Buns. So J.J. Abrams, the guy who directed the new Star Trek, the part 2 that's coming out in a couple months, Cloverfield, he started Lost, he started Fringe, he started Alcatraz, he did this show called Felicity.
I liked Alcatraz. Fringe was alright.
I liked Fringe.
Episodes. I know you liked it.
I think,
I thought Alcatraz was...
anyone just starting, because I think Fringe is on Netflix right now. And, what was I gonna say? Season 3 is the best. You kind of have those. That's kind of like Lost, where you have to watch the show in order to really get it.
Right.
But I think that show really peaked at season 3, because season 3 was super awesome.
That was about people jumping in time, right?
No, it kind of not for nothing. When you go back to the old episodes, they had all this stuff that they were building up and then kind of negated at the end, because the girl was supposed to be a science experiment, and then then they. All these monsters were coming out of nowhere, and I guess, spoiler alert, it turned out all these monsters were coming from another universe that was a parallel universe, but they made their way over here, because people were oh, where all this crazy science stuff is coming from, but it was from another universe that science was all crazy and out of whack.
Right.
And then they did kind of have a time travel, then they got stuck in this thing called Amber, and they were stuck there for 20 years, and they wake up in the future, and it's a whole weird, spoiler alert for anyone to watch it. I don't think I spoiled too much. But I liked the show. It just finished. They just had the last episode of Fringe. So it was sweet. It was kind of, I don't want to say a letdown. That's not the right word. Of course, I want everything to end with
it wasn't what you expected.
Yeah, but it was good, but it wasn't fantastic. So J.J. Abrams is going to direct the next Star Wars movie. They're planning for 2015, which means they got to jump on the ball right now. Now, when he first started, when they said that they were going to make the new Star Wars, all these people, everyone was guessing about directors. Everyone was oh, this guy's going to direct it, that guy's going to direct it. And J.J. Abrams said, no, my loyalty is to Star Trek. Mm-hmm. I'm not directing the Star Wars movies. But he said that to misdirect people. Now he's actually directing it.
Right.
So, I'm excited. I think now that Disney owns it, they're looking to make money. They got to make back that $4 billion. Right. So there's going to be, R2-D2 toys and Chewbacca toys and everything like that. It's gonna, they're gonna do everything they can to get every penny out of the $4 billion they invested. So I think J.J. Abrams is good at making a good beginning, and hopefully they won't let him peter out at the end. So I think and it's just such a weird thing for nerds to say, because there was always, nerds were always divided. People were oh, Star Wars is better, Star Trek is better. Now here's a guy in the middle who's doing both. So I think that's pretty awesome. And that's Cinnamon Buns, our new kitten. Oh, I got you, baby. Whoa, wait. So we have the Super Bowl coming up this Sunday. And I'm not a sports fan. You're not a sports fan. But I'm going to watch it, though, because the commercials I've always
There's one sport I was ever into, and that's soccer.
Soccer, yeah. And I've seen you, I think even around the house, we got like soccer balls kind of like scattered around the place.
Yeah.
And Raven kicks them around. I kind of like encourage her to kick them.
Good.
But then she picks them up and she throws them. And I'm like, no, relax. You're gonna hurt somebody.
Yeah.
So you played soccer. I mean, you want to tell the story about what, your ankle?
Oh, that was actually softball. But,
Oh, that's right.
I was in 8th grade, my last year at junior high, and, I played pitcher in first base, and, the girl from third base was trying to steal home, because, I made the pitch, and the batter, swung and missed, and the catcher dropped the ball. No, it flew behind her. She didn't catch it. So the girl from third base took that as an opportunity to try to steal home. So as the catcher's going back to get the ball, she's trying to run up. So I'm yelling at my catcher. I'm like, here, she's trying to steal home. So I had my foot on the base, and I'm not paying attention to her. I'm trying to get the ball so I can come down and
so
tag
you're touching
it.
base to make sure when you caught the ball.
Dramatically overweight girl slid into my ankle at probably 15 miles an hour, and like my ankle was not only broken, it was, what do they call it?
Dislocated,
terribly, like
your ankle was sideways, the way you described it to me in the past.
Look, it was like this hole was pushed over.
Alright, so Layla is pointing at her foot.
Oh, it's
kind
actually
of like
this thing.
Imagine the ankle at a 90-degree angle of the way it's not supposed to be.
Yeah, like you can bend your ankle one way, you can't bend it the other way.
You can't bend it outwards.
It was bent the other way.
So you mean a overweight girl playing softball? No. No such thing. So this overweight girl slammed into you trying to make it to home, dislocated your ankle.
But you want to know the good part?
What's that?
I got her out.
Yeah, right. I guess if you're going to sacrifice body parts, at least take one for the team.
Mm-hmm.
And who said it? I remember you telling me, was it the coach or was it the EMTs?
Who said what?
No, when they said it, when they fixed it. Like, I remember you telling the story about
Oh, that was the doctor.
Oh, the doctor. Okay.
Yeah, I came into the hospital. And I'm like just screaming. I am in agonizing pain. You know what I mean? I'm like 12 years old with this freaking dislocated ankle. And I get in there, and my dad was at the game, so he saw everything that happened. But I remember I had sweat pouring down my face, and I was just in so much pain. And I was just screaming for my dad and just crying. And my dad's like getting mad at the people. He's like, "Can't you give her something for pain? Give her something for pain." And then the doctor comes up, all calm. He goes, "Oh yeah, we're gonna have to fix that." So the doctor's just talking to me. He's like, he's totally trying to distract me. Mm-hmm. He picks up my ankle and just, oh my God. The whole hospital heard me. I screamed so loud. I think probably the next hospital over heard me too.
So he just pulled it straight.
Yeah, he just
let it snap back into place.
Yeah.
Did you have to wear a cast?
Oh, yeah, for a month. And then I had to wear an air cast for a couple weeks after that.
I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, it was terrible.
And, well, okay, we'll keep it in the sports theme. Well, once again, like I said, they got the Super Bowl coming up soon. It's going to be the San Francisco 49ers versus the Baltimore Ravens. Mm-hmm. If I had to pick a team, I would say the Ravens because they're East Coast. They're closer to us than San Francisco.
Right.
This is going to be the last game for this guy named Ray Lewis. And when my stepson, his name is Jackie, we play Madden NFL 13 for PlayStation 3. If you let the game play, they give you this little documentary about Ray Lewis, and and we discussed this. I discussed this in the last episode. there was he was a suspect in his mother-in-law's murder or death or something like that. So, but I guess he was acquitted. Must have had a good lawyer. Either he's innocent or he had a good lawyer. So, I'm gonna watch it for the ads. You know, I sound like,
the halftime show.
all the guys watch the football for the football. But actually, since I've been playing with Jackie recently, like, I'm getting a little more into football. Before, when it was just like playing with him and seeing the players on the field and stuff like that, I'm actually kind of getting a little more into it. So I'm turning a little more jockish. This nerd is learning a little bit more about jock culture. So that's coming this Sunday. And staying with sports, the two sisters, Venus and Serena Williams?
The tennis players.
The two tennis players, yeah. Do you think they're attractive?
No.
No? Okay. Now, because they're like, their bodies are so almost exaggerated. You know what I'm saying?
They're
like,
built.
They're built.
They're built. Almost, I don't want to say like mannish, but they are very muscular.
And I'm glad you brought that up because that's the angle I was about to go with. If a guy is attracted to them, is that any kind of inkling that he's gay? Or like
possibly,
a movie I know you like, True Lies.
Oh yeah.
Okay, remember Jamie Lee Curtis when she's dancing in the movie?
Yeah.
Now, and the only reason I bring this up because they had posted online that she has. There was a rumor that she was born a hermaphrodite.
Really?
Yeah, I mean that was a rumor. But they say that she's a little more masculine. You know what I'm saying than most women or whatever. I mean, in True Lies, she's sexy, but. Like, do you think if a guy is attracted to Serena Venus Williams or what's her face, Jamie Lee Curtis, does that make him like a little gay? Everybody's a little gay.
I don't think so. No, because their faces are not ugly. They're decent looking girls, I guess, but
yeah, it's just like their bodies are just extreme though.
Yeah,
'cause they work out. They must work out constantly.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think? Okay,
no.
Good. Okay. So the name of the show is Two Strangers, One Podcast. Now, I just wanted to go online and I said, okay, let me see how easy it would be to find the show. Apparently, the theme of Two Something One Podcast is used all over the place. Here's the names of podcasts that I came across, and maybe there's even more, but these are the ones I came across. Two Girls, One Podcast. Okay. Two Guys, One Podcast, but the one is actually the number one. Okay. Two Guys, One Podcast, where the one is spelled out. Two Peas in a Podcast.
Oh, that's cute.
And that's what Jackie always says, two peas in a podcast. Two Peeps in a podcast. Peeps, I guess, like people, like, oh, my peeps. And Two Ninjas, One Podcast. So there's a lot of Two Blank One Podcast out there. So we're the first Two Strangers One Podcast. So, and actually, like, I went on Twitter.
But I'm not that's you.
Well, you're not the stranger. Well, see, but that's one thing I like about the show is that really it could be any two people. Not that they're strangers, but the audience is learning about you. It's sort of,
Two psychos, one podcast.
Two psychos.
That's us.
Two nutballs, one podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So, like I said, I've been, like I described to you, because you weren't really familiar with what a Kickstarter was. And a Kickstarter is this website that allows people to put a project online, and they try to raise money for their project. So right now, I'm trying to raise money to get a new laptop. The one I have right now is good, but it keeps giving me problems.
So it's not good.
Yeah, I mean, it's been there for me, but I wanted to, I'm kind of, when it fails, I get kind of like, it throws me off a lot, and I'm trying to, keep this show going. So, we are on Kickstarter. Just search for Two Strangers, One Podcast on Kickstarter.com. And so what I've been doing is, part of trying to raise money is you gotta go out there and spam people and send people emails and send people like, hey, check out my project. And once again, to Tom and Tim, to the two Toms and the Tim, thank you very much for the support so far. But I'm trying to get more people out there. We got some things coming up soon for the show, so I'm hoping that will bring some more people listening. I mean, I get a lot of good feedback. People like the show, but I mean, no one's kicking up some cash. We need some cash, people. So once again, just to anyone new listening to the show, if you got a spam email from me saying, hey, listen to Two Strangers, One Podcast, we do have a Kickstarter page. Even if it's just $1, every penny counts. Okay. So I've noticed that when I go on Kickstarter, there are a lot of people. I mean, you get New York, of course, a lot of California. And I mentioned this in another episode, a lot of like computer programmers. I guess since guys are on the internet anyway, they're used to the more sites and stuff like that. A lot of Australia. Mm-hmm. So, good day, mates, to all our Australian listeners. And a lot of guys from England. And it's funny when you see like Brisbane and Sheffield and all these like very British names, Manchester and like, cause I'm trying to, I'm spamming people to get people to give money to the show. And it's like, but I don't know how, cause we generally talk about pop culture stuff. And I know, America's so arrogant. We think everybody, in the world watches us, even though we don't follow anything that happens in other countries. Right. Everybody in the world watches Hollywood movies. We don't watch, heavens forbid you watch a movie that's not in English. Right. I mean, I gotta sit here and read for 2 hours? Screw that. So, a big welcome to any people from overseas across the pond listening to the show. And for those in the United States, kick up like a few Benjamins, damn it. Okay. So, Amazon has now started to offer this service. Now, Amazon is known for selling books and DVDs and music. There's a new thing now with Amazon called Auto Rip. Okay, so basically what Amazon is doing is if you've purchased a CD from Amazon, since Amazon started, because one of the fields they're moving into is called the cloud. The cloud. And a lot of these sites are using this thing called the cloud, where it's online storage. Okay. You can take your files, you upload it to them, and so Amazon is moving into this realm of offering this service to people. Apple does it. Apple's like the official person that called it the cloud. It's basically just online storage. There's Dropbox, there's Google Drive, Amazon, I think it's just going to be called Amazon Cloud. But this particular thing is called Auto Rip. So basically, Auto Rip, if you purchased a CD from Amazon, they will put the files of the music that you bought in your cloud. So, like, you have digital copies of the music that you purchased. Oh. So I think that's pretty awesome. I mean, I think what it does is it kind of like Amazon's like, hey, we have your stuff in the cloud, and now you're going to be more inclined to use Amazon's cloud. You know what I'm saying? I think that's how they hook you. They're like, here's the CDs, so you don't have to sit there and put all your CDs in your drive and burn them to the cloud. We'll offer them to you, but then now you're going to feel more inclined to, let me use Amazon's service. Because what they all do is they'll all give you like 2 to 5 gigs automatically. Uh-huh. And then if you want 10 gigs, 20 gigs, 30 gigs, you got to pay a premium. You got to pay some money, Uh-huh. Now, a while back, I ordered a book from Adobe. Adobe was kind of offering that service, kind of the way the Kindle is, where you can order books and stuff like that. And it was Cosmopolis. Now, Cosmopolis was just made into a movie. It was the guy from Twilight, the guy who played Edward Cullen. And it's about this guy in this super high-tech limo, and he's trying to get across Manhattan, but there's, like, riots going on in the city, and all he wants to do is get across town to get a haircut. But he's going so slow in traffic that people could just walk up to the limo and get in there. Like, people who need to meet up with him. So he's having meetings, because he also has, the limo's going so slow, he has security guards standing by the limo as they're sitting in traffic, so not like just anybody can come up and jump in the limo. And it's like supposed to be like airtight, and I think they had, I think in the book they mentioned that he has like guns and stuff like that, but like in the movie they never, spoiler or whatever, he never has to pull out. This movie? It's called Cosmopolis, like Cosmopolitan Metropolitan.
I am gonna be honest, that sounds like the stupidest thing ever.
The book wasn't that bad, I mean. And what had happened is I had purchased it on Adobe, which now, Adobe makes Flash and Flash Player and all this other stuff, and PDF readers and all these files, proprietary programs. But that particular branch of Adobe doesn't they don't have it anymore. So I purchased Cosmopolis on Adobe, and now it doesn't exist anymore. So you have to keep in mind that all this stuff that you put out on the cloud, you know, you have to keep in mind that that's not going to be there forever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? One day that's going to just go bad. Or, you know, what if the company gets bankrupt? What if Wall Street goes, you know, Black Friday and loses all their money and these companies lose money? You know, people need to learn not to get spoiled by the fact that their stuff is online. And obviously you can't share. If you're going to put something on that site, it can't be anything that's like incriminating or, oh boy, spilled the salsa. Salsa? Seltzer? Salsa. I got paper
Spilled the
towels.
salsa.
I got paper towels up there.
Okay.
I can't get up. I'm kind of like locked into
get it.
this computer. So that's like my little thing on the cloud. Like, you can't, like, if you put naked pictures of yourself in the cloud,
Cool.
you know, well, that stuff is out there. Like, anybody,
People putting naked pictures of themselves?
yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Really?
Yeah.
For advertising purposes?
No, not for
or
advertising purposes.
Just
Like,
to do it.
some people just,
country?
you know, they're trying to be sexy and, you know, they want to take sexy pictures, you know, and they store it. I mean, anybody with the slightest bit of knowledge or anybody who works with these companies can access that stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, be careful what you put out in the cloud because anybody can technically, if they have the right information. It's like if someone hacks your email account or your Facebook account, you know, it's
Right.
like, you know, they can get access to your stuff. Okay, and we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back.
Thank you.
And now, a word from our sponsor.
Hello, listeners. This is Chris from Two Strangers, One Podcast, but I'd like to announce that we are now part of Livin' Lane Podcast Entertainment. Check out our Facebook page at facebook.com/Livin' Lane Podcast Entertainment. LIVINLAME Podcast Entertainment. Along with Two Strangers, One Podcast, there are a bunch of brand new shows to choose from. There's The Breakdown with Filthy Phil, Shane O'Mac, and Cord bringing you the latest news in the music world. Join Joe and Carrie Fox in the Fox Den for your fix of astrology, numerology, and nature. Get your movie and television news with the Real Chat Podcast. And the big daddy that started it all, Livin' Lane. So check out the Facebook for information on new episodes and updates at www.facebook.com/Livin' Lane Podcast Entertainment. If you're enjoying this podcast, support our Kickstarter project. Just go to Kickstarter.com and search for Two Strangers, One Podcast. Click and Hit, enhancing the experience for all recreational smokers. Click and Hit is a one-handed portable vaporizer. This smoking pipe has a compact 4-stage design, complete with a built-in, wind-proof, butane refillable torch lighter. The large burn chamber holds your stash of legal herb or pipe tobacco. Click the button to ignite and inhale as usual. When you are done, put it back in your pocket for later. Smoke anytime with the touch of a button. No more carrying around grinders and tins. You can leave the pipe, rolling papers, and even your lighter at home. The Click and Hit cordless vaporizer is no bigger than a normal cigar, making it the world's smallest and most discreet vaporizer. It's perfect for use in small places or shared rooms. It's efficient, getting 5 to 8 draws from your packed chamber. It's affordable at just $19.95 each. Buy 3 and the shipping is free. Buy 4 and you get the 5th one free. Visit www.click-n-hit.com. That's clickandhit.com. And now for listeners of Two Strangers, One Podcast, you can use promo code STRANGERS and receive 10% off your purchase at clickandhit.com. That's promo code STRANGERS for 10% off your purchase.
And we now return to Two Strangers, One Podcast.
And we're back. Okay, so let me see, we're talking about the cloud. So like I said, there's this thing by Amazon called Auto Rip. If you purchase a CD from Amazon, your music will be available on their cloud service. I was thinking about shaving my head.
No.
No?
No.
Just get a haircut?
Yeah.
Trim it up?
I can do it before you.
I know I've been growing my hair a little long and it looks different. People aren't used to me having the hair looks like that. I know I look like a homeless crazy person.
You look crazy.
I look like the fat guy, like in a white tank top, like the white feeder tank top, like with the crazy hair, like going out to take out the garbage.
Trailer trash with that.
I look like a good old boy.
Now, if you put on the wife beater, that would just complete the look.
It's got to be stained though.
Yeah.
It's got to have like ketchup stains.
Yeah.
Armpit rings, like yellow around the armpits. And I need a gold chain. a gold chain that's matted in my chest here.
Oh.
But like I said, I've been, I know I'm balding and stuff like that. So I posted the other day on Facebook and people were like, just shave your head. Just shave your head. So I was playing with the idea of shaving my head. No, just get it trimmed up.
Yeah.
Just cut the long hair.
You would look really even more psycho than you look now if you shave.
If I shave my head. But I've shaved my head in the past.
Yeah, I know. I didn't care for it. But then again, who am I?
So, okay. I don't know. Do you like Beyonce? Are you a fan of her music at all? No? Okay. Because, recently, since Obama won the re-election, he was re-sworn in as president for the next 4 years. And it was a big thing. I didn't even watch it. I really don't care. I like Obama.
Any assassination attempts on him yet?
To the best of my knowledge, no. And I'm really surprised because there are so many close-minded people. I would expect.
For one, he's
I definitely don't hope for
America. And
you think he was born in Kenya?
That's what they said, right? He's born
That's
in
what people are accusing, but I think that's people who don't like him and want him to be taken out of office.
So he was born in America.
He was born in Hawaii. I believe he was born in Hawaii.
Oh.
But there are people who say he was born in Kenya and he has a fake birth certificate. But those are people who who don't want him in office. So they're trying to discredit him by saying he was born in another country. And we're back from technical difficulties. So at the Obama inauguration, that's the word I'm looking for, Beyonce performed.
I think he's the best president we've had since Bill Clinton. Bill Clinton, what was the other one? Kennedy? Mm-hmm. Kennedy, Clinton, and Obama, I think, are the best presidents we've had.
And so you're, like myself, you're a Democrat.
In all of history.
They've all been Democrats.
And Abraham Lincoln, of course.
On my history.
The first president.
No, he was the 16th president.
Oh, the 16th. George Washington was the first. My bad.
Oh, boy. The state of education.
It's been a while.
So Beyonce performed at the inauguration, and she sang God Bless America. But there was a big controversy because it was kind of obvious that she was lip syncing. So people were all like up in arms, but like she lip syncs on stage. You know what I'm saying? There are people who pay $150 for a ticket, and she lip syncs when people pay. Who gives a fuck if she lip syncs and people watching her for free? You know what I'm saying? Like, that would be more of a reason to lip sync because, I'm pretty sure the people who organized the event probably gave her a nice check, but, at her own personal concerts, I'm pretty sure she's getting a hell of a lot more. So who gives a fuck if she lip syncs? You know what I'm saying? And do you remember the Whitney Houston, Whitney Houston sang, was it God Bless America? I don't know. It was back in like 1991, like when we were fighting the Gulf War, and she was singing at like an event, and it was like this big, it was very, very patriotic. Oh, that's right. You were, you were like 5 or 4 or 5.
I think 7.
Oh, okay. Wait, hold on. Yeah, okay.
6.
2001. 1991, excuse me. 1991.
Yeah, 6.
Okay. So, there was this Whitney Houston, this is back in 1981 where, when Saddam Hussein was invading Kuwait, and so America was stopping Saddam Hussein, so there was like big patriotic, and Whitney Houston sang at like a football game, and it was like super, like the crowd was going nuts because she was singing like an American song, and they now with all this controversy with Beyonce, that's coming out that was lip synced also, but I don't think that's wrong. I mean, shit, people are performing. What if she fucked up? If you're dancing
and moving around, it's difficult to you know what I mean, or excuse me, sing, and sound good. If you're moving around and dancing and you're breathing heavier, you're using more energy than if you were in a studio, making a record or whatever. So I don't think it's wrong for someone to lip sync on stage. You know what I mean?
The whole world is watching, especially, the Obama inauguration.
Yeah.
If she's lip syncing, so what? But a lot of people, were upset. But like Jennifer Lopez came out of all people and defended her. But who the fuck is Jennifer Lopez?
Nobody.
But that was, this is coming from a Puerto Rican who grew up in New York City.
No, I thought she was Mexican.
No, she's Puerto Rican.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's like 100% Puerto Rican. Okay. So, let's see.
I was thinking of that movie, Selena.
Well, and Selena was Mexican. She played Selena. That's like, because she was a fly girl on that show In Living Color, which, again, that was like 1991.
I remember that time.
And so she was one of the dancers on that show, but then she got her big break when they had her play Selena.
Mm-hmm. And then she started making, like, music and getting big.
Yeah. I mean, there was one time...
I love that movie, by the way.
Yeah, there was one time where she had the #1 movie, Made in Manhattan. She had the #1 album.
That's a great movie. That's mine.
Because that's Matthew McConaughey, right? And
yeah.
Just for the audience, Layla really likes Matthew McConaughey.
He is hot.
All right.
I mean, for a blonde hair guy.
Did I leave my boots under your bed? So let's see. Now, we've been getting a lot of, I have some plans in the future, and I don't want to spoil it just yet because I don't want to jinx it, but very, very geeky big news coming up soon, and I don't want to jinx it until it's done, we've had this conversation. Do you consider yourself a geek or a nerd? I mean, I wear that flag, I'm a champion of geeks and nerds. Do you consider yourself a nerd or a geek?
Big time.
Oh, okay.
I never, but I'm proud of who I am in that sense. Mm-hmm. I have no problem at all telling somebody that I love Harry Potter or
Dean Koontz.
that I am the biggest fan of Dean Koontz, that I have just about, I've read just about every book he's ever written, except for the two newest ones.
I mean, you wear glasses.
Oh, well, yeah.
That kind of like...
Yeah, I wear glasses. And
that makes people stick out a little bit. I mean,
yeah. But no, being a geek is, in my opinion, is better than being, a popular, retard. Because they're, in the popular crowd, they're, athletic or mean to people.
Yeah, like they get their popularity by being mean. Like they put other people down to lift themselves up.
Yeah, and although nobody was mean to me in high school, not really. Mm-hmm. I was quiet, I was shy. I had 2 friends, Rachel and Kenra, and we had almost every class together. I was in soccer, Rachel was in swimming. Kenra was the biggest geek of all of us, though. Like, we were nerdy. Rachel tried to be popular. She tried to fit in. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Because she had that insecurity thing going on. Mm-hmm. But Kenra and I were happy with who we were. And she wore glasses. Like, she kind of, just sitting there resting, her tongue kind of stuck out, she was like...
Oh, so that's the differentiation. There's nerds and there's geeks. I think geeks...
What's the difference?
Well, a nerd is...
Now, Kendra was also very smart. Don't get me wrong. Very intelligent.
To me, and I know this is just my definition, and so people don't get upset. Like a nerd, like anybody could be a nerd, as in, if there's one thing you're really passionate about and you get into, or a couple things you get passionate about and you can quote every statistic, even sports guys are kind of geeks, like when, they could tell you, the statistics of a guy who played in 1984.
Right.
So that's a version of nerdiness. Geeks are the ones more like, even though nerds are socially awkward, geeks are the one, like the nerd, a nerd at a party is the guy that, will sit in the corner. The geek is the guy who won't even go to the party. Uh-huh. Like, the geek is the more severe,
Kenra was
very socially awkward.
She was very socially awkward, you know what I mean? But she was very smart. And all 3 of us got really good grades. We all did good in our schoolwork. But Rachel more tried to
you choose to be a geek. You choose to be a nerd. Geek, you're just stuck with.
I guess. And then
that's kind of
there was Rachel,
the way I see it.
who was more popular than both of us. You know, she had friends who were very popular, and then she had us, you know what I mean, who were her real friends. And then you had Kinra, who was extremely, like, almost, there was no helping her. Like, she was like, that's how she looked when she sat
like,
there.
Some people are kind of, and I hate to use the word, dopey looking.
Yeah,
even though they're brilliant.
She was very dopey
They're
looking.
brilliant.
And then I was
dopey.
like
So
right in the middle.
The dopey looking people are the geeks. The nerds are just people who have, you know, like me. I'm a nerd. I'll wear a Metallica shirt. I'll wear a Star Wars shirt. I'll wear a Superman shirt. You know, I declare my nerdity to the world. Geeks are kind of like...
I have no problem letting people know what I like or whatever, and I don't give a damn if anybody likes it. I don't care if nobody likes it. It's what I like, and
you wear
I'm not
you've
try
worn
to
your
hide
Batman
it.
shirt, and
My
that
what?
one, the Batman shirt, the one that looks like it has like a utility belt around the waist, the way it fits on the woman. That's
and if I wear a pair of black shorts. That it looks like a one. It
looks like you're wearing,
and it looks really cool. Yeah,
Batman outfit. So, because right now since nerds are kind of getting more popular, there's kind of like a backlash almost where there are people who are pretending to be nerds to try to feel like they're accepted. And I guess the best way to put it, and I'm gonna get
a nerd, I think.
Someone put this great post. He's like, "You're not a nerd. You're just a slut with glasses." Because there are girls who will put on, like, those big horn-rimmed glasses, like, from the 80s style or whatever, and go, oh, I'm so nerdy. But they're not. They just bought a pair of glasses to kind of, like, gain acceptance among the nerds. Since being a nerd now is a little more...
acceptable.
Acceptable.
It's even cool.
Because now everybody... You know, years ago, you know, people who were quote-unquote cool wouldn't even touch a computer.
Right.
Or look at it. You know, you're in computers, you're a nerd. Now everybody has a freaking smartphone. You know, everybody has a freaking computer in their pocket.
Right.
You know, I mean... Yep. You know, I mean, Apple, you know, makes like the iPhones to kind of make it cool and sleek and sexy and stuff like that. But, you know, it's a nerdy device. You can use it to just make phone calls, or you could do all crazy 50,000 apps and stuff like that. So, and so we're going to wrap it up in just a minute. Because, I think because there's all these girls online. Like I said, there's almost like a backlash. And you would think there was like, okay, there's nerds. There's a backlash of people saying, "Oh, you're not a real nerd. You're not, you know, you're fake. You bought that Batman T-shirt because you're just trying to fit in with the guys and stuff like that." And
I think that makes if you are trying to fit in anywhere instead of just being yourself, I think that's nerdy. Whether you're trying to be a nerd or you're trying to be cool, no, it's not even nerdy. It's just I don't even know what you would call it.
It's sad. I mean, for the people that
and I think it's stupid either way.
What they're calling out when they're saying, "Oh, you're fake. You're not really a nerd." I mean, those people I don't like. And like I said, that's like with that phrase, like, "Oh, you're not a nerd. You're a slut with glasses." And then there's
slut. Why the word slut?
Well, you know, like when the girls take like sexy pictures and they put them online. That's kind of slutty. That's kind of.
Oh yeah, that's slutty. If the pictures are posted for the purposes of trying to be enticing or trying to look, you know, provocative, I think that's very slutty.
Yeah. And so those same girls now are putting on big horn-rimmed glasses that they don't need.
Right.
Just to go, look at me, I'm a nerd. So now there's like a backlash. There's a backlash of people saying like, no, you guys are fake. You're saying you're a nerd and you're not. You know, when 10 years ago or 15 years ago, before people had computers, you would see someone with a computer and go, oh, what are you doing? If you saw a guy reading comic books, you're like, oh, what the hell's wrong with you?
Right.
You know, saying like, true nerds, like I've always been a Star Wars nerd. You know, I can't remember a time in my life where I didn't have Star Wars toys or the movies somewhere around.
Right.
You know, so stuff like that. I'm a Star Wars nerd. I can sit there and talk about scenes. I can talk about the characters in the background that, you know, people don't even pay attention to. And so,
there are movies where not Star Wars in particular, because Star Wars was never my thing. I didn't get
it's an acquired taste. Yeah, I don't expect everyone to like Star Wars.
But there are movies and like, The Dark Crystal. Mm-hmm. I love that movie. The Goonies. And then the day that the Harry Potter movie came out, I was in Florida and my aunt took me to see it, and that day After I saw the movie, I was just like, I love Harry Potter. I've seen every movie, I've read every book, I know everything there is to know.
Actually, I don't think you've seen... I don't know, we've never finished watching Deathly Hallows Part 2.
I did.
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yep.
I didn't. I can't get through it. I don't know. It's boring to me.
Well, no,
I want to like it.
The first 3 movies were intended for an adolescent audience. When you get to the last 2, 3 movies, it's more for adults, I think.
Well, I think what they did was, obviously, if a 10-year-old is watching the first movie, by the time the last movie came out, they're 17, 18.
They're, right,
so I think the movies kind of grew up with the audience. But like I was saying before, the backlash of nerds, I think your nerdiness doesn't count unless you're dating a nerd. If you're just a girl, like, if you're if you're popular and trying to be more popular by pretending to be a nerd, but you're still dating like a jock.
Have you ever seen the movie She's All That?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's like the perfect example right there.
Yeah. She's like, she's awkward and...
She was a big nerd. She was like the sexiest nerd though ever. She was very hot.
But I think, I don't know, as a nerd, like, I'm trying to look out for my men, my boys over here and saying, if you're not dating a nerd, you're not a nerd girl. You can't be dating Brad Pitt and be a nerd girl.
I kind of agree.
You know.
I agree.
All right, so we're gonna...
in your opinion, just before we wrap it up, do you think I'm a nerd?
You have nerd tendencies. It's funny that the things you choose to remember, because there's certain things that lock into your brain. Like, you could listen to a song once and know the fucking lyrics, or, you could remember, passages from books, or,
quotes.
Yeah, there's just stuff that stays locked in your brain. It's funny that you'll forget what you had for breakfast, but you can remember something that was said 5 years ago. I guess that's every woman, but more in like when you absorb your music and you absorb the books, it's crazy how it like stays trapped in your mind. And to me, that's a nerdy. And when I say nerdy, I mean that in the best possible way. It is a nerdy trait because some people, they don't like reading. Like reading's like a task or a problem. Like, oh, you gotta, you're reading a book. Like, what are you doing? A report? Like, like these people only read if it's mandatory.
Right.
And, they've never read for pleasure. And reading is like you can tell a lot about a person. Like, there's a movie director, and I forgot his name right now, but he directed I can't believe I forgot his name. He's a thin guy, he has like a thin pencil mustache. I forgot his name, but he said, if you're going on a date with somebody and you walk into their house and they don't have books, get the fuck out. Ha! Like, don't have sex with someone if you go to their house and they don't have books. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't hook up with a dummy, basically.
That's interesting. I like it.
So, and I forgot the name. I could see his face, and he's a director of movies, and he makes all kind of crazy alternative movies. He made, Serial Mom. Remember Serial Mom? That's a great movie.
Yeah, it is.
But that was like his most, commercial movie. He's made tons of other ones, and I can't believe the name is on the tip of my tongue. So yeah, I do think you're a nerd, but I mean that in the best possible way.
I don't take offense to it at all.
And coming from me, it's a compliment when I say someone's a nerd. That means you're part of my tribe, Cool. All the nerds, we all, we have to band together and, have strength in numbers. Okay, so we're going to wrap it up real quick. Please visit twostrangersonepodcast.com where you can find links for everything. You can find links
to... Or Two Cycles One Podcast.
I got to buy that domain name. But yeah, there's links to our eBay page. There's links to where you can find us on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on iTunes. If you have an Android device, you can find us on the Stitcher app. Every podcast worth listening to is on Stitcher. Kevin Smith and his Smodcast, Chris Hardwick at The Nerdist, our West Coast brothers Livin' Lame, and all the other shows in the Livin' Lame network, the Fox Den, the Real Chat, the Breakdown. And as of right now, the Breakdown is letting me do what I call Chris's Hidden Metal Show. I've been recording You don't know this, but I've been doing like kind of like heavy metal radio shows, and I have like 7 pre-recorded, and I got 2 more.
You play music?
Yeah, I play music. So
I want to hear it.
I'll play it for you.
Okay.
And our buddies on the West Coast, their music show is called The Breakdown. Mm-hmm. So right now they're kind of like in a transition period. So they basically said, Chris, if you want, you can repost your shows on our network. So if you want to hear Chris's hidden metal shows, so far there's 7 episodes. I have 2 that I've yet to record, but it's all good, hard, heavy metal. So check it out. And let me see, I'm trying to think. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/2strangers1podcast. Like us, share us. And that's pretty much it. So we certainly hope you enjoyed listening to the show and had as much fun as we did recording it. Thank you for listening to Two Strangers, One Podcast. I'm Chris.
I'm Layla.
Don't be a stranger. Bye.
All right, here we go, man. Go ahead. You want to read
Double
it?
Jackpot.
What is it?
It is a self-published book by Christopher Cologne.
Chris Cologne smells good to me.
But
Look at her. That broke that fucking cold little exterior. He's like, hee.
but it is spelled Colon.
Him punny.
But Double Jackpot is a book about a comic book artist, Eric, who is in a loveless relationship with a materialistic
I feel you, Eric.
Lynette.
Oh, fucking. Are you sure I didn't write this? Sounds hauntingly familiar.
He starts cheating on his girlfriend with a more creatively supportive woman, Nadia.
Well, I gotta meet her. Where's the Nadia?
There's your summer girlfriend.
Summer Nadia is Nadia.
Nadia?
Yeah, I think Nadia spelled with an A.
All right.
Both Lynette and Nadia play the double jackpot, the largest payout in lotto history, much like the recent Powerball. Both girls play his birth date as the winning numbers. Eric is now stuck between 2 of the country's richest women. Who will he choose? It's not that simple. This is a clever fucking idea,
Yeah, it
man.
is.
Look at her, fucking. She's impressed.
I am.
She got some summer reading. Christopher Cologne smells real lovely with an original idea. This is. I've never heard this before.
I haven't either. This is a self-published book, much in the indie spirit as Kev's Clerks.
Oh, you don't even need to name check me. This is just a good idea. You could stand on your own, man. You don't even have to be like, hey, remember Clerks? This is nothing like that. This is way more original than Clerks. This is a good idea, man. Why didn't I think of this?
I need something to read. This book is part of the Comic Books, Heavy Metal, Video Games Trilogy Book 2. Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, coming soon.
Right on, man. It's part of a trilogy. This is the first part.
Way to write, man.
He's seeking a literary agent. Motherfuckers, anybody out there? There ain't no literary agents listening to this show. I assure you, sure. Sure. I assure you, sure. But somebody know a literary agent? Hook a motherfucker up! Chris Cologne come up with an original idea. I should tell Raskin. That's a good fucking idea, to be honest with you. That's a fucking rom-com right there. Megan, get Raskin on the phone. Isn't it possible to get Raskin on the phone? No?
Yeah.
I want to run it past him, man. I want to, and if it happens, I get a taste, Chris Cologne. I get a whiff, if you will.
The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com.
That's lulu.com.
I understand that. I just want to spell it out.
Normally one says it that spells it. Still, lulu.com. What is that? Do you know what it is?
I don't know. All right. The book could also be ordered on www.lulu.com. Search for Double Jackpot Christopher Cologne. A paperback version of the book is $15 and a PDF file is only $5.
$5 is
Yeah.
insanely inexpensive. 15's not even that bad for a paperback version.
No.
This is $1 million idea right here. Like a movie about a dude who fucking is stuck between 2 chicks, both of who play his birthday and win the lottery. Come on! I can see that trailer. Chris Cologne is on to something. Nobody else can smell it but me.
I'll read it.
Thank you. I'm going to make that smelly joke.
I know. You're trying to get me to laugh again.
It worked once. Double Jackpot is a self-published book by Chris Cologne, man. It's the first book in his comic books, heavy metal, video games trilogy. Book 2, Odd I See, A Tale from the Road, should be coming out soon. Get all the information at Chris Cologne, like a motherfucker.
I
and
will
his
totally
book,
read this.
Double Jackpot. I'm serious. I'm going to recommend that to fucking Raskin. How is that not a movie? You know what I'm saying? This could be a sexy movie. You could do an R-rated version. There could be nudie in it, and you could saw them fucking both chicks. Maybe a little penetration. Maybe a butthole shot. No butthole, no care.
I would like to formally apologize to Christopher Cologne. Right
No,
now,
sex
but-
sells. Chris Cologne will appreciate that. He's like, thanks for throwing a few buttholes in there, man.
Don't forget to check out twostrangersonepodcast.net, your one-stop resource for everything show-related. You can find links to subscribe to us on iTunes or on Stitcher. You could also find links to buy my book, Double Jackpot, on twostrangersonepodcast.net.
Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. You're cool. And fuck you, I'm out.